situate this thing right here. Well, the one that I recorded a few days ago did not go through because I had a pair of old headphones plugged in, and all that it recorded was just a loud humming sound. Didn't pick up any of the audio. So yeah, I lost that one. It wasn't like necessarily the fire of all fire, but I mean, that was the latest one that I recorded, as it had been a while. I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks. You know, a lot of what I got into just had to do with just how unsuccessful we were in the wins and losses column this year of the season, and that kind of made it a little bit more difficult to talk about because there wasn't a lot of bright spots to fall back on. I don't know. I guess I just wasn't as excited to alert the masses about where we were. But it's neither here nor there. It just was the makeup of the season. We got a ton better from the start to finish, and I know that because I was there for most every practice and match. I did miss a few, but most people won't see that if they just read the stat line or the articles in the paper, or if they came to 1 or 2 games. But to be there and watch all the progression, I'm proud of that, definitely. We were starting like 2 freshmen and 3 sophomores, and 1 or 2 pretty novice seniors. And at the end of the day, we just did not have a lot of court experience time to fall back on, and just is what it is sometimes. But yeah, that and all said and done, going into the last week or the last week and a half, we still had a shot of getting that 4th place spot and moving on to the playoffs, but we just could not turn the corner. We definitely had one emotional victory, and then just couldn't get both of them that week. Then I think we would have had to win the rivalry match which was senior night, and that did not quite go as planned. But we knew we were already knocked out, so I think motivation was a little bit low at that point. But oh well, that's what happened. And it's flooring me that it's almost the end of the first week of November. I feel like I was just dragging my feet, not dragging my feet, but just so ready for the summer to be over and for the season to start, just so we could get back into some sort of normal routine with school and work and volleyball. And then August hit and we started practicing, and we ended summer, and the school year has just flown. I mean, we did half of August, all of September, and all of October already. And I think in a couple of weeks we're going to be at Thanksgiving, and I mean, I just can't fathom that it's already going to be Friday tomorrow. Like, it feels like it was just the weekend, and the time is flying as I'm trying to spend time with my wife and my kids and my family, work, exercise, and do fun things the day is gone. The day is gone before it even starts, it feels like. And maybe that's due to I don't even know. mean, I feel like I've definitely worked more this year as I upped my amount of work that I'd be doing at home in evenings and early in the mornings, and I've definitely ran a lot more early on in the morning this year than I have in any other years. I think I'm going to break my year mile record in the next week. And then I'll have the rest of this month and December to set the new PR. I think 2,000's always been the goal that I want, but it's like I think I'm trying to, my new record's gonna be like 1,500 miles, so I don't know if I'm gonna go 1,550 miles in 2 months. I mean 552. Yeah, I get on these great like I'll get motivated. Like in July I ran like 205 miles, and that pretty much felt like that was all I was focused on, was just working and running and then family. And that kept me pretty damn busy throughout that month. My kids were going to camps or they were staying home with mom, and then we were doing stuff outside of that for summertime. But yeah, that month went crazy, and I just I think I fell down to 130 in August, and then all the way down to 91 in September, and I beefed it back up. I got back up to 139 last month, which is not a lot. I wish I was hitting that 200 mark a little more often. I want to say last November I went for like 200 plus, but I was doing like 15-mile runs at the lake some days, and obviously was not working as much also, because when I'm doing these long runs it's like late morning. I can't seem to do a 10-mile or 10-mile plus run in the dark early morning hours. The early before sun run is like, it's to get a run and back and showered before everybody, and I just don't think I'd have to go over 2 hours, and when it's like super early, and that would have to start at probably like 4 o'clock the latest, just so I could finish at 6 and then get home and be showered and all that. And it's just, it takes more planning. I guess I was just more comfortable like spending that much time at that point during the day, but I feel like I was doing over 2 hours and then showing up to work at like 10:30 or almost 11, which is just a little bit too. I try to make like 10 o'clock, 10:15 like the cutoff for showing up to work during the week, and I don't know, just to hit those miles. Like last week, was it last week? No, last week, the week before last week, I went for like almost 42 miles, and that I hit 2 long runs Monday, Wednesday, and those were like 11 and a half and 12, but I needed like 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure I got to work like 10:15ish, maybe even 10:30 one day, and then I got to stay up late making those hours, or I don't know. I just, when I feel like I'm figuring it out, I got it all under not control, but all figured out, then I don't. And I'm realizing that is the most difficult challenge in one's life, is to find the comfortable consistency. Finding comfortability in your consistency with everything. And it's hard, as like the activities and the times of the year change, you have to adapt, and you have to adapt to keep your consistency comfortable. And like yesterday, I got up and I ran, but I couldn't do it today. I just ended up sleeping more. And like now, it just seems like 8 hours of sleep almost seems like a waste of a few hours. And I'm feeling like even more tired than I would if I slept like 5 or 6. I don't know. It's a weird situation. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have a new mile marker after this year. I will have ran the most miles in 1 year since I've been documenting these since 2020, will be the most miles in a year. And next year, I see one of my daughters. Next year, I will shoot for 2,000 for sure, I think.